welcome back to my channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Amy and I make all sorts of weird and wonderful videos, normally surrounding beauty, makeup, skincare, lifestyle, that kind of thing. So if you enjoy this video or you've watched me before, please hit the subscribe button down below, give this video a thumbs up so more people can find it, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. In today's video, I am going to be doing another foundation review. It is not a first impressions like the last one kind of was. I am going to be reviewing MAC Studio Fix Fluid. I have the shade NW13, which I think is the wrong shade for me, but that's fine. I can live with it. I have mentioned before that this is probably one of, if not probably my favourite foundation of all time. I mean, look how disgusting that is in there. I really need to get a pump for these, but I think I probably have 5 or 6 different shades at the moment. This is the one that's nearly empty, so I'm going to use this one. Word of warning with matte foundations, they do tend to dry down. They do oxidise quite a lot, so they'll dry down darker and warmer than you think, so maybe go a little bit lighter than you think. I have loved this foundation for probably about the last 5 or 6 years. The only thing is that I can't wear it every day, but I'll get into all of that later in the video. So I will put this on my face, I will leave it on for the entire day, and I'll check it back in with you guys at points throughout the day to let you know how it's holding up. So, as I said before, this is the MAC Studio Fix Fluid SPF 15 foundation. I nearly always buy mine in the airport because you don't pay tax in the airport, so it's like 20% off sale. And I have mine in the shade NW13. I have upstairs NW25, NC25, NC15, and then I have face and body in C1 and N1? I don't know exactly. I've got loads of matte foundations. This is one of my favourite foundations of all time because it's one of the only things that actually lasts on my skin. I think for this one, I think normally retails for about £24 and I normally pay about 20 in the airport. For your 24 Great British pounds, you get 30ml, the standard size. And for example, with the Tarte foundation, I mean, look at the colour difference between those two. Jesus Christ, that's terrible. Why did I ever think I was going to be this colour? This also comes with 30ml of product, but it's actually £35, which is just ridiculous. Why anybody would pay that for why anybody would pay that for a foundation, I never know. I've got foundations that are 35 quid upstairs, doing well. So I am going to apply one side. I'm going to prime my skin, and then I'm going to apply one side with a brush and one side with a sponge, and I'll let you know how it applies with both of them. So I don't actually have a MAC primer, but one that I have been kind of on the train of recently is the Smashbox Original Photo Finish Smooth and Blur Primer. Excuse me while I pretend to be professional and open up the packaging. I've been feeling really, this is going to sound really weird, pory recently. Particularly like around my nose and across like the first bit of my cheeks. So anything that's filling in or blurring in my pores, I've been loving. I know in pretty much every video I have been using the Soap & Glory One Heck of Blot Primer, but hey ho, I actually finished a bottle of it, so I'm now only down to 2 of them. So I can start using other stuff now, which is fun because I've only been using that one for about 6 months. I'm just going to prime my problem areas as per usual. I'm not going to prime anywhere else on my face because I don't see the point. And particularly for something like this, that's quite smoothing and quite slippery, I don't really want to be putting that on my forehead because then the foundation is just going to come straight off, which is not what I'm aiming for. So, foundation doesn't come with a pump normally. You can buy one, but I'm not spending £5 on that, and it is runnier than I remember. So that's the colour as it's coming out of the thing. It is at the bottle, sorry. Quite pink. I'm not pink, so this should be entertaining. So I'm going to do just one layer on this side of my face with the brush, and we can compare it to the side so we can see what the coverage is like. And I think I'm giving this side a bit of a tougher test because this is where all of my pigmentation is. So that's one light layer on this side of my face. I like the coverage, I like the finish. It is not too heavy with the coverage that you can't like not see my skin underneath, and I think I definitely look more awake and less dead on this side, and it actually appears to be a relatively Okay, no, it's not. It's way too pink. It's definitely too pink for me. But hello, it's the last little bit I have of this foundation, so I'm probably just trying to use it up. I'm definitely more of an NC go. So the only thing with matte foundations is that they tend to be quite extreme in their undertones. So if they're pink, they're pink. If they're yellow, they're yellow. So, which is good for people like me who do have quite yellow skin anyway. But I've just got the foundation all over my earrings. Yay. But for some people who lie more in the middle, it could be entertaining for you trying to find a shade. But yes, I will now leave that set and do the other side with a sponge. I'm just using a random one of no known origin, as per usual. Sponge clearly soaking up a lot of product, as per usual in my videos, so that's the only thing I'm a bit wary of with a beauty blender, is just the sheer amount of product that it soaks up. However, I do feel that this side of my face looks a little less dry and a little less cakey, a little less lots of things. Not this side that's bad, but I think this side just looks better off the bat. However, I know with this foundation, this side will probably not last as long and will probably get oilier quicker. My preferred method of doing it is putting it on with a brush and then blending it in with a sponge, because that way I get the slightly more natural finish, but I actually get to buff it into the skin and get it where I need it. So that's a light layer across, I say light layer, it's actually quite a heavy layer across my whole face. I think both sides look pretty good. I don't really feel the need to add a second layer. I could probably do with a little bit of pinpoint concealing for like this boy here and a couple of the slightly darker marks across my face. But it's definitely a solid medium coverage. Like, I'd happily go outside without concealing like this. I think for speed, I think the brush is better. However, the overall finish of the side with the beauty sponge I think looks better. So like I said, I think my preferred method of putting it on first of all with the brush and then blending it out with the sponge I think will be better. But I'm going to go put the rest of my base on and I will check back in with you guys in a bit. BRB. So it's probably about 7 or 8 hours after I first put on the foundation, and this is what my face is looking like right about now. It hasn't really sank into my pores. It's looking a little bit questionable around my nose, but like the lipstick's still on and I've had lunch and dinner since then. For me, this really isn't that bad in terms of oil. Like, I have looked a lot worse than this after 8 hours of wear. So it's holding up really well, I think. This is normally how I would wear my foundation on a day-to-day basis. So I would normally prime, powder, and use that Urban Decay setting spray. Normally use a different powder and primer. But I mean, it doesn't feel horrible, it doesn't feel heavy. It's, other than around my nose where it's looking a little questionable, just in my like in my nose crevices and stuff. It's actually looking pretty good at the moment. So it's been about 8 hours since I first applied it. It's currently 9 o'clock and I'll leave it on for as long as I can, but I do have to get up and go to work tomorrow and I do have to wash this off my face at some point. So I'll check back in with you guys in a little bit. See you in a bit. Hello, and I am back again. My phone is charging in the bedroom, but I think it's like 11, half 11 now. So I have been wearing this for some time. I've just been editing the footage from earlier, and it turns out that I cocked up my camera settings. So actually, there's a bit in the middle where I showed you what I looked like just after I'd applied it and told you what time was, which I think was about 11 o'clock. So I think I've worn this for about 12 hours now. And for my skin, this has held up beautifully. I can't even put you down. I'm a little bit shiny across my forehead and across my nose. However, if I were to, normally I look like this with most foundations after about 4 hours. If I were to take a blotting sheet and I were to blot and repowder, I would get another 10 hours out of this without batting an eyelid. I'm actually going to go get a blotting sheet now. Hang on. Shout out to David Hogg, who is a fan of the old blotting. I mean, I could probably just fill one of these with the oil that's on my nose. These are just the CYO blotting sheets, of which I'm going to probably go through about 12 of them because they are quite small. Quality content. I'm actually just going to do like the centre of my forehead and then the worst offending part of each cheek. And just round here. Right. It looks fine. It looks absolutely fine. Like, I'm gonna go right in. I'm gonna go, hi, this is my face. So this is what it's kind of looking like after kind of 12 hours, we'll say. This lipstick has been on for about 8 hours and I am surprised that it is still on my face. So, I mean, all in all, proper close-up of my nose. It's kind of got into my pores a little bit and looking a little bit... Matthew's playing D&D, I think. It's kind of got into my pores a little bit. But I mean, it hasn't lifted, it hasn't caked, it hasn't like disappeared anywhere. It's still on my nose, it's still on my chin. Considering it didn't set round any of the rest of my face, I think this is absolutely outstanding. Like I said, it's one of my favourite foundations that I've ever used. The only thing with it is because it is so long lasting and because it does grip so hard onto your skin, if I wear this for more than 2 days in a row, breaks me out. Really does break me out, and that's the only issue I have with it, is that it looks fabulous on my skin and it lasts so well on my skin. The fact that I haven't powdered, haven't blotted, haven't done anything for about 12 hours, and I mean, I could just, I've taken a blotting sheet, I could repowder this, whack a bit of eyeliner on it, and I can go straight out after work, which I have done multiple times. But yeah, it just looks great. I really, really love this foundation. That's the only one flaw with it, and it is a pretty major flaw. I can't wear it for, I could probably go 3 days. 3 days wearing it and it would be fine. But after that, it would just look terrible. Absolutely terrible on my face. I'd end up breaking out everywhere. I'd end up with like milia, blackheads, massive spots, particularly along my chin. So, I mean, I love it. Doesn't mean that you have to, but this has been my review of MAC Studio Fix Fluid Foundation. If you have any foundations that you want me to try and you want me to put to test, leave them in a comment down below. Subscribe, as always, please, 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 because like 70% of you don't subscribe and that hurts me. It makes me sad. So please, 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 doesn't cost you anything to hit that button. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads and give it a thumbs up so more people can find it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.